Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. This is a special late night edition with King Kong Consciousness. And because it's a late night edition, I want to have a conversation with my sisters. I want every black woman to pull up a chair. I want every black woman to pull up a chair. This is a message for the queens. This is a message for the empresses. This is a message for the goddesses. This is a message for the sisters. I've been doing a lot of life coaching lately with black women around relationships. I've been doing a lot of life coaching recently with black women centered on their relationships. A lot of sisters been calling me crying. A lot of sisters been hurting. A lot of sisters confused. A lot of sisters don't know what to do. So I want to give my sisters some relationship advice. I'm not going to keep you too long. We're going to take it to midnight because I know you got to work tomorrow. We're going to keep it to midnight. But in this hour, I need to give my sisters some advice. This is why I'm diligently trying to get the For Sisters Only book done ASAP. This is why I'm diligently trying to get the For Sisters Only book done ASAP. I've gotten a lot of feedback from the queens in the conscious community, and they told me to not go on tour until the book is done. The overwhelming amount of sisters who text me were of the opinion that the tour should wait. The For Sisters Only tour should wait until the For Sisters Only book is done. So I am going to humble myself to the queendom, and I am not going to do the For Sisters Only tour until the For Sisters Only book is done. In lieu of that, I want to give you ladies some straight talk. Some straight talk. Things that I've learned not just through observation, not just through dating, but most of all being a therapist and being a life coach. I want to come to you from that angle tonight. After you hear this message tonight, if you want some personal relationship life coaching, reach out. If you need some personal relationship life coaching, reach out. But don't schedule a relationship coaching session with me, ladies, and you don't want the hard truth, because I'm going to give you the hard truth. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Yes, I do relationship coaching. I do life coaching. Obviously, I do consultations with parents involving their children. I charge $75 per hour. $75 per hour. You should probably only need 1 hour. You might only need 1 hour, or you might need to check in with me once a month. Most of my relationship coaching clients, we normally check in once a month. Personal life coaching might need to be once a week, once every other week, once every 3 weeks, once a month. Relationship coaching about once a month. So if you desire that, you can text me 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858 if you need relationship coaching, personal life coaching, or consultation for your children. Now, let's get into this. I'm talking to my sisters. Let's get into this. Let me just go right from the start. Stop telling men when the last time you had sex. Stop doing it. Too many women are leading in new relationships by volunteering a piece of information that most men don't ask and many men don't care. And that is, when was the last time you were intimate with another man? That's your business. That's your business. Why are you volunteering it? Stop telling men, I ain't been with nobody in a year. I ain't been with nobody in 2 years. I ain't been with nobody in 3 years. How you ain't been with nobody in 3 years and you got a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old? How you ain't been with nobody in 3 years and you got a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old? Stop volunteering information about the last time you was intimate. You don't need to tell a man that. It doesn't matter. You know why it doesn't matter? Because if and when you decide to give him the cookies, if and when you decide to let him ice your Cinnabons, if and when you let him warm up your cupcakes, I promise you, once he goes in that cookie jar, he's going to be able to tell when the last time that cookie jar was open. You don't need to volunteer that. You don't need to volunteer that. You don't need to volunteer that. And if you 40 or older, my beautiful African sisters, if you 40 and older, your walls are not as strong as the 30 and under year old women's walls. So you don't need to be out here lying, telling men you ain't been with nobody in 5 years and you running around with a loosey-goosey. He's going to know if you got that loosey-goosey. And if you telling a man you ain't been with nobody in 5 years and you give him a cookie and it ain't no cookies left, them Cinnabons is stale, them cupcakes is hard, he's going to know that you were lying. Stop telling men when the last time you were intimate. Cut it out. He's going to be able to tell. Okay? If it ain't no cookies left, you ain't been celibate for no 3 years. If them cupcakes ain't fresh, he gonna know that you was out there throwing cookies away. Okay? The loosey-goosey. The loosey-goosey. If you got a loosey-goosey, stop telling men you've been celibate for a couple years. Because there's one of the greatest turnoffs is for a woman to act like she ain't been with nobody in a long time. One of the greatest turnoffs is for a woman to act like she ain't been with nobody for a long time. And when that man goes to be intimate with you, you got the loosey-goosey. So I'm going to move on from that. All my loosey-goosey queens, I wish you well in the dating world. You're not going to get too far. All my loosey-goosey queens, I wish you well in the dating world. So let's move on and let's refocus. Next point. Stop turning your boyfriend, your fiance, your husband into your personal therapist. He didn't sign up for that shit. Let me say it again. Stop turning your boyfriend, your fiance, your husband into your personal life coach. He did not sign up to be your life coach. And one of the quickest ways to burn a brother out, one of the quickest ways to get dropped and left is to try to turn your man into your therapist. Check it out. Being your man is hard enough. Being your man is hard enough. And you mean to tell me he already has a full-time job in being your husband? He already has a full-time job in being your fiance. He already has a full-time job in being your husband. And on top of him already having a full-time job, you want to give him another full-time job. Be my therapist. It is not your man's job to heal your childhood wounds. It is not your man's job to heal the relationship issues you have with your mother or your father. It is not your man's job to heal your low self-esteem or your insecurity complex. If you need help, if you need healing, if you need therapy, if you need counseling, find a therapist. The website for the Association of Black Psychologists is abpsi.org. I said the website for the Association of Black Psychologists is abpsi.org. Black social workers got a website. Black counselors got a website. Black psychiatrists got a website. If you need professional help, go get professional help. But if you try to turn your man into your psychiatrist, You're going to burn his ass out and he going to leave you, or he going to bump you down to number 2 and he going to get a new number 1. If you try to turn your man into your therapist, you're going to burn him out and he's either going to leave you or he's going to bump you down from number 1 to number 2 and he going to get a new number 1. Nothing wrong with expecting support. Nothing wrong with expecting encouragement. Nothing wrong with needing to have a serious personal conversation. But if he got to sit down with you for 3 hours while you cry on his shoulder every night, he's going to get burnt out. And that makes you a spiritual vampire. What is a spiritual vampire? What is a spiritual vampire? A man or a woman who gets into a relationship looking for somebody to save them from themselves. A spiritual vampire is a man or a woman with a whole bunch of issues, a whole bunch of baggage that you don't have the willpower to deal with. So rather than deal with your shit, rather than deal with your issues, you're going to drop them off on somebody else's front step and give them the responsibility of solving your problems for you. It is nobody's job to solve your personal, emotional, psychological issues but you. And I'm going to have to come back and do this for the brothers too. I'm going to have to come back and do this for the brothers too, because a big mistake that black men make, a big mistake that we kings make, a big mistake that we brothers make is we'll get in a relationship with an emotionally dysfunctional woman and she will cling to us and she will fall in love with us too soon. And then we start thinking that she's madly in love with us. She's not in love with you, bruh. She's in love with the fact that you can distract her from her problems. That's right. And a spiritual vampire female is the perfect actor who can convince a man that she's madly in love with him when she's really just emotionally toxic and a hopeless romantic. And before you know it, she'll jump off of you, jump onto another brother, and you'll be like, I thought you loved me. Nah, bruh, she was a spiritual vampire. Looking for all the attention she can get, bruh. You was one stop on a long journey. Stop thinking you the last stop, black man, when you only one pit stop on a long journey. So I'm going to have to do this with the brothers too. Because we got some brothers out there thinking women madly in love with you. Nah, bruh. She's emotionally needy. Stop confusing an emotionally needy woman with a woman who's in love with you. Stop confusing an emotionally needy woman with a woman who's in love with you. And it goes the same way with sisters. Stop confusing an emotionally needy man with a man who's in love with you. Stop confusing an emotionally needy man with a man who's in love with you. So again, stop turning your man into a life coach. He ain't there to be your therapist. He ain't there to be a psychiatrist. He ain't your social worker. He don't want to be a licensed professional counselor. He wants to be your partner, not your savior. He's your partner, black woman, not your savior. Stop trying to turn your man into a savior. And when he can't save you from your problems, you start accusing him of being emotionally isolated. Now, don't get me wrong. We do have wounded phalluses running around in the hood. Don't get me wrong, black queen. We do have wounded phalluses running around in the hood. But what I'm saying is, just because a man doesn't want you to suck him dry with your emotional problems doesn't mean he's emotionally isolated. It means he's emotionally intelligent. It means he's emotionally intelligent. That's what it means. And brothers, you better be careful. Sister try to turn you to a therapist early in a relationship, that might be a good sign. It's time to walk on out. You are not responsible, man or woman. You are not responsible for solving another adult's problems. You are not. Too many people are getting in relationships when they really need a relationship with a therapist. Stop looking for a romance when you need therapy. Romance is not a substitute for counseling. Romance is not a substitute for therapy. If you need counseling, go get it. Spreading your legs is not going to make you feel better. Don't use sex as a drug, and don't use relationship as a narcotic. Don't use sex as a drug, and don't use relationship as a narcotic. Next on my list, don't ever promise a man. Don't ever threaten a man, sister. Don't ever tell your man you are going to leave if he disrespects you or cheats on you and you don't leave. Never write a check that your ass isn't prepared to cash. Don't ever tell a man that cheating on me is a non-negotiable when you know damn well it's very negotiable. Don't ever tell a man that cheating on me is non-negotiable when you know it is very negotiable. Worst thing you can do is lay down your non-negotiables. He violates the non-negotiable. You claim that this is grounds for termination of the relationship. And after he violates your non-negotiable, your ass don't go nowhere. Do you know what you just did, black woman? Do you know what you did, my butter almond queens and my butter pecan queens and my cinnamon queens and my hot fudge queens and my African lemon queens and my African vanilla queens and my warm pistachio queens and my sweet brown sugar? You know what you just did? You just gave over your power to that man. And once a man knows he has all the power in the relationship, you are likely to become a human doormat. And guess what? Once he turns you into a doormat, it's not much long before he drops you altogether. Okay? See, some women have this idea. If I let him have his way, I can stay. Some women have this idea. If I let him have his way, I can stay. No. No man wants a doormat. I'm telling you. He might not even know he don't want a doormat. Okay? A low self-esteem woman will always be traded in for a woman with higher self-esteem. A low self-esteem woman will always be traded in for a woman with higher self-esteem. In fact, the worst characteristic about yourself you can have in the dating game, man or woman, the worst characteristic the worst character flaw you can have is low self-esteem. Low self-esteem is dangerous to a black woman in these streets. If it was up to me, if a black woman has low self-esteem, she cannot date until her self-esteem reaches normal limits. Because if you have low self-esteem, you will let him beat you. You will let him curse you. You will let him disrespect you. Oh, yes. A woman with low self-esteem will accept any kind of treatment just for him to be in his life. It's like black people in the United States. It's like black people in the United States. They enslaved us. We still love America. They Jim Crowed us. We still love America. They Willie lynched us. We still love America. Police killing our kids. We still love America. Mass incarceration. We still love America. Miseducation. We still love America. Gentrification. We still love America. Economic apartheid. There's nothing the United States can do to black people that will make you renounce your American citizenship, because we have low racial self-esteem. We want to belong at any cost. We want to be American by any means necessary. And that's the same thing for black women. The worst thing you can do is let a man know verbally or non-verbally. The worst thing you can do is let a man know, verbally or non-verbally, you can do anything to me, I'm never leaving you. You can do anything to me, I'm never leaving you. Once a man gets that message, this is no longer a partnership. This is a master-slave relationship. In fact, you need to date within your own self-esteem level. Because if you date somebody with a higher self-esteem than you, you're the slave and they're the slave master. And everybody listening to me tonight know people in slave master relationships right now. Every last one of you know of somebody who's in a slave master relationship. The woman has all the say. The woman makes all the rules. The woman makes all the decisions. And all he do is do what she say. Or the man makes all the rules. The man makes all the decisions. The man has all the say. And all the woman does is follow around like a house slave. To be a partner, you have to have equal self-esteem. To be a partner, you have to have equal self-esteem. To be a partner, you have to have equal self-esteem. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And you cannot hide how much self-esteem you have. You can't hide it. Women, sisters, my African goddesses, you try to project a strong self-esteem by putting on this hard, tough, semi-masculine exterior. A lot of women try to protect their low self-esteem by putting on this hard, rough, semi-masculine exterior. And I'm here to tell you that a man can see right through it. He can see weakness disguised as strength. And there's a lot of women hiding weakness by trying to disguise it as strength. And what I'm saying, black woman, don't hide your weakness. Get some help for your weakness. Don't hide your weakness. Get some help from your weakness. Think about your mother. I want every black woman to think about their mother. Some of you, if you were lucky, you had mothers who demonstrated exceptional relationship behavior. If you are lucky, you had a mother who demonstrated exceptional relationship behavior. If her man disrespected her, she didn't play that. It was consequence. He might got to go sleep in a doghouse for the night, but she not playing no cursing. She ain't playing no B words. Your mother did not play. She loved her man. She honored her man. She served her man. But guess what? When he disrespected her, she would not hesitate to put him in his place. Some of you know how to balance that. You know how to be totally committed to your man and at the same time make sure he understands that my submissiveness is done voluntarily out of respect for you. But just as I submit to you, I can take it all back. See, black woman, you have to stop submitting until you're sure he is worth submission. And then even after you submit, because submission is not weakness. Stop listening to the feminists. Submission is not weakness. Stop listening to the feminists. Submission is not weakness. Stop listening to the feminists. Submission is a voluntary thing that you say, you know what? He has demonstrated to me that he's worth me following. He has demonstrated to me that he is worth me. He's worthy of my trust and my loyalty and my honor. But you also let him know I'm doing this voluntarily. And just like I'm giving you the head of this household, I can take it back just as fast. Let him know I am not a hopeless romantic. And I'm going to be honest, ladies. Men are going to try you. Men are going to try you because men like to know that they have a degree of control over their women. I didn't say men want to dominate you. Not all men. Insecure men want to dominate. If you got a man who wants to imprison your life, That's a low self-esteem Negro. And I'm going to tell you right now, traumatized men, low self-esteem men are the domestic abusers and the murderers. Traumatized men and low self-esteem men are the domestic abusers and the murderers of black women. And a big mistake that a lot of black women make is if he's attractive, if he's handsome, if he got a good job, he got it going on, all the ladies want him, you assume he got high self-esteem. No, no, no. No, 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 no. There's something known as fake narcissism. A lot of women are dating fake narcissists. Now, a true narcissist really believes he's God's gift to the world. A true narcissist really believes he's God's gift to the world. Okay? A true narcissist really believes he's God's gift to the world. Okay? But a fake narcissist is really a man with low self-esteem who's projecting a false sense of superiority in front of his woman. A fake narcissist is a man with low self-esteem who's projecting a false sense of superiority in front of his woman. And you got to know when you're dealing with a true narcissist or a fake narcissist. Both are dangerous. Neither one are healthy for you, sister. Not the true narcissist or the fake narcissist, but the fake narcissist will kill you. The fake narcissist will kill you. The true narcissist will leave you for another woman. He think he's God's gift to the world anyway, so he ain't got to waste no time on you. He'll get another one. But a fake narcissist, if you tear away that false veneer he got, you tear that down, that man will kill you. All he got is that fake narcissist persona that he's projecting onto you. Okay? It's important. Important. Stay away from low self-esteem men. Stay away from men who need you to be dependent on them in order to feel secure in the relationship. This is a big one. I'm getting this from a lot of women, a lot of my relationship coaching clients, a lot of my female relationship coaching clients, a lot of my female relationship coaching clients are reporting that they're dating men. The big question I'm getting from a lot of queens, Dr. Umar, he needs me to be dependent on him to get my bills paid. He needs me to be emotionally dependent on him in order for him to feel like a man. That's not healthy. A healthy man don't need a woman to make less money. A healthy man don't need a woman to be emotionally needy. A healthy man don't need a woman to feel like she can't make it without him. That's low self-esteem insecurity. That's low self-esteem insecurity. That's low self-esteem insecurity. A relationship is a partnership. We work together. We rely on each other. We do this equally. If the man needs the woman to have nothing or very little, if he needs her to come to him for the money, if he needs her to come to him for everything, then he's a low self-esteem man. A healthy man don't need an emotionally dependent woman. He don't need a financially dependent woman. And black men, we need to be careful. Black men, we need to be careful because we will complain that she's a gold digger. She wants you to make a certain amount of money. She wants you to have a certain level of economic security. But then when she needs you economically, you say she weak. You say she not coming to the table with nothing. So make up your mind, black man. Make up your mind, black man. Do you want a woman that's going to tax your pockets? Do you want a woman who needs your money? Okay? Or do you want a woman to be self-sufficient? Because you can't say you don't want a woman that's emotionally and economically needy, on the one hand, you can't say you don't want a woman that's emotionally and economically needy. You don't want her, but at the other hand, you don't feel secure unless she is needy. How you going to say you don't want a gold digger, but yet you insecure when a woman has her own? How you going to say you don't want an emotional vampire, but yet you need the woman to be emotionally needy for you to be secure? Make up your mind, black man. Stop sending these women mixed messages. Choose a side and stand on it. Let's continue. Please don't say you're going to leave that man and you don't. Please don't tell that man you're going to leave him and you don't. Worst thing you can do, because you done gave him all your power. You done gave him all your power, which is the same as saying you done gave him all your respect. See, the relationship starts out with 50% power. The relationship starts out with 50% power. The relationship starts out, you got 50% of the power, he got 50% of the power, and then you slowly start giving your power away. By doing what? Retreating on your non-negotiables. Taking back your non-negotiables. Not keeping your promises. Which takes me to something else. And I've already told you, no man wants a doormat for his woman. No man wants a doormat for his woman. So letting him walk all over you does not protect the relationship. Letting him walk all over you does not protect the relationship. It's the quickest way to get your ass up out of there. It's the quickest way to get your ass up out of there. Which takes me to another point. Stop using pity. Stop trying to invoke pity from your man as a means of him not breaking up with you. A lot of women will try to make the man feel sorry. A lot of women will try to make the man feel sorry by crying and threatening to hurt themselves. And I'm a overdose. I'm going to jump off the river. I'm going to shoot myself. I'm going to hang myself. And I'm not making light of that because suicide is a growing problem for black women. I'm not making light of that. But black woman, if you have to invoke pity, if he has to feel sorry for you in order to stay with you, if you got to make your man feel sorry for you in order to stay with you, then you need to be left. You need to be abandoned because that's not a healthy situation. You have to make him feel sorry and guilty about leaving in order for him to stay, and you comfortable with that. See, one of the rules, Dr. Umar's rules, one of Dr. Umar's rules. Hold on, where at? Dr. Umar's rules. Low self-esteem women finish last. Thirsty women finish last. The only woman who's healthy enough to be in a relationship, the only woman who's healthy enough to be in a relationship is a woman who's healthy enough to be content by her damn self. If you can't live alone, if you cannot keep your own company for yourself, if you have a problem occupying your bed alone, if you have a problem occupying your life alone, if you have a problem occupying your home alone, you have no business looking for a relationship. See, the irony of relationships, the irony of romance, only people who are fine being by themselves will make good partners. That's the irony. Clingy people, needy people, Dependent people, they don't make good partners because they're too emotionally dysfunctional. The best partners are people who don't need a relationship. Look for people who don't need a relationship, but want a relationship. Those are the healthy people. The healthy people are the people who don't need a relationship, but they want a relationship. The unhealthy people are the people who need a relationship, but should not be in one. The unhealthy people are the people who need a relationship, but should not be in one. Don't break your non-negotiables. Don't say it's a non-negotiable if it's not. Okay? If you got low self-esteem, you will be taken for granted, black woman. If you got low self-esteem, you will be taken for granted, black woman. It's important for a black woman to evaluate how much a potential mate respects black womanhood. Does he respect black womanhood? Because see, for some men, you are nothing but a vagina. For some men, you are nothing but a vagina. See, we live in a society ruled by the Neanderthal that has sexually objectified the woman as an entity. We live in a society ruled by the Neanderthal that has sexually objectified the woman. And a lot of black men have been victimized by that. We have been brainwashed and indoctrinated by that. Gangster rap has played a very big role in teaching black boys to sexually objectify the black woman. So when you get with a man who you're interested in, you have to see if he can value you beyond the physical. Can he value you beyond the physical? Can he value you beyond the physical? Now, some women, because you're stunningly attractive. Some women, because you're stunningly beautiful. Some women, because you are overwhelmingly pretty. You think it's okay to get in a relationship with a man who only values your physical. But what you fail to realize, how you look at 25, you will not look at 35. How you look at 35, you will not look at 45. How you look at 45, you will not look at 55. And how you look at 55, you will not look at 65. So if you settle for a relationship with a man who only values you based on how you look, sooner or later, you will be reduced to second, or you will be dropped altogether. The worst thing for a woman to do is to be content being valued by the way she looks. Now, we know teenage girls, they into that. It's a growing phase, right? They're young, they're beautiful. They're going to be beautiful for the next 10, 15, 20 years. Okay? A 21-year-old, she'll get away with that for good 10 years, maybe even 20, right? But if you're 35, you're not getting away with that for 20 years. So why even enter into that type of relationship? Why even do it to yourself? Why even do it for yourself? Now, another problem black women have, and I know I'm going to upset some of my sisters when I say this. Another problem that black women have, and I know I'm going to upset some of my sisters when I say this, but I'm going to keep it real. Because when you read the For Sisters Only book, I'm going to keep it real. Stop hoeing around all through your 20s. Stop hoeing around all through your 30s. You give your 20s to the street Negroes. You give your 30s to the pretty boys. They use you up, dog you out. Now you're in your 40s. And nobody's jumping to marry your ass. And so now you're saying it ain't no good black men. No, no, no. There's plenty of good black men. The problem is you gave your best years to men who didn't deserve it. The problem is you gave your best years to men who didn't deserve it. And now you see your biological clock is ticking and your beauty clock. See, you got a biological clock, how long you can have those babies, and you got a beauty clock, how long you gonna be looking good. A biological clock, how long you gonna have them babies, and a beauty clock, how long you gonna be looking good. And guess what? When you hit those 40s, don't get me wrong, black don't crack, but everybody declines. Black don't crack, but everybody starts to decline at some point. Black don't crack. The black woman keeps it together better than any other woman because you're the original woman. You're God's first human being. But don't get it twisted. Everybody's going to decline. And all I'm saying to black women, not all of you, I'm not saying if you're 40 and single, you hold around from 20 to 40. I'm not saying that. And hoeing around is just a metaphor for being out there dating the wrong guys. I'm not saying you a hoe. I'm not saying you sleeping around. I'm not saying you run around flapping a loosey-goosey all over the ghetto. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you're the loosey-goosey ghetto girl. I'm not calling you the loosey-goosey ghetto girl. What I'm saying is a lot of you waste the whole decade of your 20s dating men you know ain't gonna marry you, but because they fine, they handsome, they popular, you give them your whole 20s. Then you get in your 30s. Be dating married men, athletes, gangster rap, celebrity. They're not going to marry you. They're just having fun with you, but you enjoy it for the moment. And the next thing you know, you look up at your clock. You look up at your biological clock. You look up at your beauty clock and it's tick, 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 tick. Now you try to rush out and find a man at 43, 44, 45, and you all trying to find a man, and you trying to find a man, and you trying to find a man, and when you can't get a man, now you're 47, 48, 49, and you can't get a man. You say black men don't want to commit. Black men ain't serious. Black men don't value black women. That's true for a lot of men, but it ain't true for most of us. You gave away your best years when you should have been focusing. Stop giving away your best years when you need to be focusing. I'm not saying you can't pop that coochie for a few years. Everybody is going to experiment. I understand you got to pop that coochie for 2 or 3. I get it. I get it. You want to experiment with, I get it. I get it. But at some point, you got to calm it all down. At some point, you got to calm it all down, get focused, and start looking for your mate. Because black women are the last married and the first divorced. You ain't got time to wait till you're 40 to start looking for your husband. You ain't got time to wait until you're 40 to start looking for your husband. Okay? Now, another mistake y'all make. Another mistake my beautiful African sisters make. And I'm only giving you this wisdom because I love y'all. And I want all y'all to be married. I want all my sisters to be happy. Every black woman that wants a family should have a family. Every black woman that wants kids in wedlock should have children in wedlock. I want that for you. But something else. Something else. Let me tell you what separates white women from the black women. Let me tell you one thing that separates white women from black women. Observation. Black women want their men to have it all before she commits. The white woman only needs to see the potential and the commitment. I'm going to say it again. The black woman tends to want her man to have it all before she commits. The white woman don't need her man to have it all. She just needs to see his potential. And the white woman will back him and support him and ride with him and help develop him until he gets it all. See, one of the things black women got to stop doing, not all of you, some of you. Not all of you, some of you. When you see a man who ain't got it, but he got the potential and he committed to getting it, commit at that time and ride with him. If you got to sign a contract to say that you guys are co-creators of every idea he comes up with, then make him sign a contract if you're afraid he's going to leave you once he makes it big. But the white woman will get with a broke-ass black man with potential. The white woman will get with a broke-ass black man with potential. The white woman will see the potential in the black man at 21 years old, and she will ride with him until he fulfills his dream and wife him up. Black woman, y'all say you got to have it all. The house, the car, the degrees, the job, the business, the education, and y'all going to keep on losing if you keep expecting black men to get all this and then hand it over to you on the silver platter. It's not realistic. It's too hard out here. It's not realistic. Black woman, the next time you see a man with potential who's serious about earning his goals, next time you come across a man with potential who is dedicated to making it, but he ain't got all the money, he ain't got the car, but you can clearly see he got a serious plan, and if he make it, we gonna be nice. You better think about walking with him. You got to get out of this housewives mentality. Too many black women have this housewives mentality. Too many black women got this housewives mentality, this super materialistic, perfect vision of what he got to come to the table with. You're not gonna get no man like that. Find a brother with potential until it pay off. Stop trying to get ready-made husbands. Stop trying to get ready-made perfect scenarios. Ride with the good one. Because guess what? A lot of these black men that these white women got, they got them when you were not paying attention to them. See, he was with the white girl before he got his law license. He was with the white girl before he got his medical license. He was with the white girl before he made $100 million in real estate. He was with the white girl before he opened that Fortune 500 company. She was with him when he was struggling, but she saw the potential. Black women have to stop this thing that says you got to have it all. You got to show up on my doorstep with all boxes checked. Stop it, black woman. You're selling yourself short. Stop it. Let's continue. Do not let him move into your house. Do not let him move into your house unless you're sure he's a keeper. The worst thing a black woman can do, especially if you ain't got no brothers, especially if you ain't got no uncles, especially you ain't got no cousins with no felonies, and you ain't got a mad dad. Now, if you got a mad dad and a couple uncles who've been to jail, you good. You good, because when it's time for him to go, they gonna show him the door. But if you ain't got no shooters in your family, you ain't got no killers in the bloodline, don't be letting these men move in with your black woman. Because you know once he move in, and the law is different in every state, once he moves in, it becomes his residence. You can't just kick him out. If he gets mail sent to your house, you cannot just put him out like that. Do not let a man move in and take over your house and hold you hostage in a house that you pay all the bills for. Don't do it, family. Don't do it, family. Black women, There's something that a lot of men don't like. There's something that a lot of men don't like. And do you know what that is? A woman trying to control them or invade their privacy. Do not try to control your man because you can't. Only man you can control is a beta. And no woman wants a beta anyway. Stop trying to control your man. If he's not what you want him to be, let him go and go find what you need. Too many women out here trying to remake men into something they are not. You cannot change a man. He is what he is. The only question you need to be asking yourself is whether or not I can stay with him as he is for the rest of his life. If you are not comfortable, if you are not content in the relationship, go find you something better. In the relationship and go find you something better. But you don't want to end the relationship. You don't want to go find something better because number one, you got low self-esteem and you don't think you're going to find something better. And number two, you are complacent. You have gotten lazy and complacent with the relationship you don't even want. You've gotten lazy and complacent in a relationship that you don't even want. You've gotten lazy and complacent in a relationship that you don't even want. And the only reason why you in a relationship that you don't want is because you are a miserable companion for yourself. That's right. See, a person who can be alone, a person who don't mind being alone, they will always find the right person because they are not in a rush. A person who can keep their own company will always find the right person because they are not in a rush. You know who ends up in bad relationships? You know who ends up in dysfunctional relationships? You want to know who ends up in situations they don't want? People who are in a rush to get away from themselves. That's right. People who are content with solitude, they don't get into too many bad relationships because they are not in a rush. Most of us are in a rush. We're in a rush to find somebody. I need me a man. I need me a woman. I need me a man. You just broke up 2 weeks ago. I need me a man. I need me a woman. You just broke up last week. I need me a man. I need me a woman. Because you don't have peace of mind. You don't have peace of mind. And let me tell you, those of us who have peace of mind, we have the most difficult time finding an adequate partner. You know why? Because so many black people are abused. So many black people are traumatized. So many black people are hurt. So many black people got unmet needs from childhood. So many black people are so at war inside. So many of us are so at war inside that those of us who have peace of mind, we not going to put up with. See, somebody who's content with themselves, they not putting up with shit. Think about people you know who don't have a problem being alone. They know how to enjoy their own company. It's hard for them to find a good, suitable mate because they don't put up with nothing because they find just by themselves. See, they don't get into a whole bunch of bad relationships because they take their time because they don't need a relationship. They want a relationship. They take their time because they don't need a relationship. They want a relationship. And the minute they detect a spiritual vampire, they out. They out. They don't care how good the cookies is. They don't care how good the Shango stick is. They are out. They're out. Oh, yeah. See, the first quality I look for in a mate The first quality I look for in a mate is peace of mind. That's the first thing I look for. It's the first thing I look for. Yeah, I wanted to be 5'5", thick in the thighs. You know, Dr. Papa loves his curves. Okay, I'm still the notorious one. But even before the curves, even before that smooth, beautiful brown skin, even before that natural hair, even before the way she walked, even before that beautiful smile, before that, is this woman at peace with herself? Because I'm at peace with myself. I have to be at peace with myself, given my mission in life, which is the complete and total liberation of African people. I can't have a war in here if I'm going to fight a war out there. So I look for women with peace of mind. Black woman, I suggest you look for men with peace of mind. And black men, I suggest you look for women with peace of mind. Because I'm telling you, the black community is filled with spiritual vampires. The black community is filled with spiritual vampires. Hey, Sister Persia, my Indianapolis assistant, I see you, Queen. The black community is filled with spiritual vampires. No disrespect to the sisters who wear a lot of makeup. No disrespect to the sisters who wear a lot of makeup. Some of you may have good reason for doing it. Some of you may have a good reason for doing it. But when I come across a black woman who got to cake her face up, no disrespect, I love all my sisters. But when I come across a black woman who got to cake her face up, every time she go out, that's insecurity, that's low self-esteem, that's childhood trauma, that's parental lack of validation. No way I'm marrying a woman who got to cake her face up every time we go out, because I know there's some deep-seated insecurity. You got to cover your natural self up, put a fakes up, deeps, no different than the hair, but I'm talking about the face right now. No different than the hair, but I'm talking about the face right now. If I'm dating a woman and I can never see her natural hair, I'm dating you and I've never seen your natural hair. Woo, we got some deep-seated insecurities. We got some deep-seated insecurities. Let me tell you this, black woman, and you could take this to the bank. Let me tell you this, black woman, and you could take this to the bank. Once you accept yourself, you will be surprised at the amount of men who will accept you. Instagram is about to time out. Facebook, hold on.